Hey guys, welcome to the episode 18 of the peer-to-peer network coding session. At the last episode, we we started to disassemble the peer-to-peer network iteration number one, and we started to synchronize it with the concept of social persona and social trading bot. When iteration one was done, those concepts were not really clear. And there was kind of a mix up between the user profile and the bot, and things were not really clear, so we have to redo a lot of that stuff. And we already started at the concept of user social profile and bot profile, changing that for social persona and social trading bot. So let's go back to the code. The place where we left was here. Here. Here is where we were working at. So to recap, from the network bootstrapping process, we removed what it was doing regarding to social personas because it doesn't belong there. So we add that to the initialization of the social graph network service, which is the right place. So here we are iterating all the user profiles and looking for sign-in accounts, and when we find them we see if they are belonging to social personas. Mm, we recover their blockchain account and we instantiate this social graph social persona, and we store this in these memory maps by ID and by handle. We set or we define that the handle is something that is going to come at the configuration of the node social persona or social trading bot, and that handle must exist. Okay, otherwise we're going to return here. So then we had refactor. Let me check. We have refactored the social persona and social trading bot, and we were about to work inside social persona, and we were thinking if a social persona would have bots or not. That was a question that we couldn't answer at last episode because it's still not clear for me. If I It's like the social trading apps. Um, Probably you will not be able to see the SuperAlgo's user profile at those apps because that user profile is out of context there. So, how would you tie together bots with social personas? So, if, for example, if a famous trader has an account as a social persona, how do you know which bots this guy have? Or if you find a bot, how do you know if it belongs to him or not? If we don't want to show that they are related because they are part or they belong to the same user profile. Mm. Um, an easy way would be to allow a social persona to have bots. And that was the initial idea here, and that's why this is here programmed in this way. Okay, yeah. So this is correct, I believe. It's like at the social trading app, I can imagine that you have more than one social persona. You can switch between one and the other, and you are acting as that persona when you are switching, after you switch. Um, we could say that each social persona have any number of bots. Okay, so a bot, from the superego's perspective, is at the user profile. But at the user profile, there is no relationship between the social persona and the bot. The relationship is at the application level, at the social graph. Okay, so that would mean that yes, there is going to be a relationship. So I don't need to worry to remove this. I just need this to be refactored to have the right naming. And probably that's it. So let's go through this. User can have a profile that can have a follow the other social personas, be followed by other social persona, have post linked to their social. Okay. So user profile ID. Okay, here starts the problems. We are storing here the user profile ID and handle, but when we are instantiating this, we are sending the social client handle, which is the social persona handle. Okay, so what we are having here is not the user profile handle, but just the handle. We also need the ID because this is not a unique key here. This is the user profile ID, right? Then we need the ID, or maybe a reference to the node. Or what do we need? Why do I need to store this here? Probably what I should do is to store directly a reference to the user profile, and directly a reference to the social persona node. So if I ever need how to go back from this guy to the user profile, I have the reference. And if I need to go back from this guy to the social persona node, I have the reference. So, yeah. Okay. So, all the other stuff looks fine. What I've changed it is the structure of the information. Um, we're going to store a reference to the user profile node and to the social persona node, what that we didn't do before. So when we initialize this, when we initialize this, we will receive the user profile node, social persona node, handle blockchain account. Okay. Okay, and all this other stuff, we just keep it that way. So that means that here we are going to send this over here and here. And we are going to send this over here and here. Okay, so we got this at the social persona. We will also want an ID for this, even though it is inside here. We will say that this ID this object.id is going to be equal to the social persona node ID. So we'll give an ID to this object. Okay. The handle. We will have a problem to check that the handle is unique. And we will have to do it at the place where we accept the pull requests. I will take note of that. Check that social handles are unique at the bot merging PRs. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to copy this up to blockchain account because it's almost the same stuff. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Replace this user profile, bot profile. So, user can have a social trading bot that can follow other social trading bots, be followed by other social trading bots, have posts, well, the bot cannot have bots. Okay. So at this finalize, this is what we're going to have. So at this finalize, we will include these two guys. So we will receive this, but this was going to be a social trading bot, no? Handle and blockchain account. I guess that what we are calling ranking here, it should also be at the bot. But I don't know where this is going to come from. Bot asset, exchange, and if it is enabled or not. This is something that we are not having at this moment in time here. Probably the so we're going to put it as a pending stuff. Check bot initialize for bot asset, bot exchange, bot enable. But this was being instantiated at a different place before, and it was probably in here. But we are changing this concept. Okay, we will figure that out later. Um, my first intention is to put this to work again. Don't worry too much about the bots because the bot is for another version of this. But I need this to work at the level of social personas following each other. So let's leave this there. Okay. So I have changed this. What is the impact of changing this? Social persona. Okay, I have this upgraded. So who is using this? Let's start with the queries. But I'm going to organize this a little bit better. I don't need this to be here. We'll put it down here. So what we have is the following. We have this client interface. This is the execution path. That when a message is received, it is either a query or an event. And if it is a query, after a lot of validations, it's going to go create a query object, initialize it with the query received. Okay. And then it executes the query. So that means that this comes into here. But the first thing I'm seeing here that there is no finalize. So here this finalize is never executed. So let's start correcting all the stuff. I'm going to do a query dot finalize, and that would be something good. I bet that when we are talking about an event, we are having the same problem. So we initialize, we do this, but in the case of an event, all the execution is at the initialize, it seems. And the finalize is empty. Well, it very much looks like there are no specific events classes, or but it looks like everything is done in here so far. But anyways, I will anyway do an event finalize. Okay, so here we are. Client interface event or query, and if it is a query, then there is one query module for each type of query, and the query modules are inside here. Okay, here is where I will have to do quite a lot of refactoring because we are still talking about user profiles. And now we don't have user profile, we have social personas. So let's go one by one. For instance, this one, user profile. Okay, the first thing I will do, this query return a list of user profiles ordered by ranking. It is useful to bootstrap new user and provide them with alternative of who to follow. With a list of who to follow. Okay, so what we call profile here, it will be social personas. Okay, so this is using query validations. It's an utility that it should be here, query validation. So we have the concept here of profile that we will turn it in social persona. Then this guy, we are going to simplify this and send this like this. Handle ID. Okay, so at this query validations, this model have a few functions that are often needed at query models. Profile validations, post validation, array validation. So if emitter we'll have to do a general refactoring of this or we are going to miss a lot of stuff. Let me find another guy to do this refactoring. Okay, so we did a lot of refactoring, but let's see if these continue making sense. This profile validation, I'm going to rename this by social validation. Social validations. Okay, target user profile ID is going to be target social persona ID. Okay, okay. So we have social validations, social profile, social persona, blah blah blah. Okay, these were basic refactorings to align this iteration 2 with the concept of social trading bot and social personas. I I don't see this file probably anything else. Probably anything else. So at user profiles, we are going to return this So there are a lot of chances that this is not going to work right away. I will have to debug everything now. But at least it's going to be aligned conceptually to what we already have. Okay, so I would say this query is done. Also, these query validations is done. I will close it. So what are the queries do we have? User profile stats. I started to see a pattern here that we're going to start returning this in this way. Maybe I do a refactoring of this. The implications of changing this is enormous. Probably I will change only this between these brackets or quotes. Social persona ID. Social persona handle. This whole stuff. And I'm going to revert the first one that I had here as return like this. Okay, so I will replace this profile by social persona. Okay, probably this module is already converted. Let's get the next query. Well, it's not really converted until we don't rename this. It's called user profiles and it should be social personas. Okay, and this stuff should be social personas. So this is going to be called now social personas. The name changed by social personas. Okay. Then we will go to this one. This one is going to be social persona stats. Okay, so we have these two modules converted. I would say that probably something is missing here because we still have this guy not converted. Although we can, so it's strange because we have it here but not there. The name is here, is okay. User profile. Okay, so that was missing. Let's check this out. Social trading bot. Is this found here? Yes. social trading bot, and the name is social trading bot. Okay. Um, Amazing. So we have a huge amount of changes. Chances that this is going to work right away are almost zero. Let's take a look which other one we can convert now. Probably the same modules, but for bots. We don't really even need that because I will leave the bots part a little bit behind so as to not to waste that much time, since we are not going to be focusing on bots now. Um, but anyway, I will do it because otherwise I will need to get into the mood of another big refactoring some other day. So social personas. Okay, I cannot find the equivalent of social personas in bots. Don't know exactly why, but whatever. So I'm going to convert the bot profile stats. That means that we're going to rename this into social trading bot stats. Social trading bot stats. So we take this from here into here, and this goes like this. And this goes like this. So inside here, what it was same profile, it replaced by social trading bot. Okay. What we used to call user profile here is social persona. And we're going to rename all these messages too. Every time we are talking about target user profile, in fact, we are talking about target social persona. Same for emitter. Emitter is going to be replaced. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so huge amount of refactoring. So this object profile is going to be social trading bot, because we're talking about a bot here. So I'm not I don't care about all the workings. I just going to do the refactoring on the bots related modules. I care more about the other stuff. Mm. Okay, so um, okay, so we have started the process of refactoring the queries, and so far we managed to go through the queries of social personas, social persona stats, social trading bot stats. We will have to go through all the rest of the queries and then through the events. And on top of that, we will probably have to go into the desktop app and make sure that we are sending the right messages and there is no refactoring needed there. And finally, we will be able to debug all these changes. Okay, but we are right in the middle of this, so I'm going to leave this one up to here, and at the next video we will continue refactoring all this so as to have 100% alignment conceptually of what we are talking about at the overall superalgo system with social personas and social trading bots, with what we are doing here at this network service called social graph. Okay, so that conceptually we are using the same concepts. Okay, so see you at the next episode where we are going to continue this huge refactoring work. Cheers.